we have some structures on the board. So example are some structures on the board on how to name a compound. When naming a compound, naming of organic compound have rules and regulation. Rules number 1 state that select the longest continuous carbon chain as the root hydrocarbon and name it according to the number of carbon atoms it contains, adding the appropriate suffix. So select the longest continuous carbon chain as the root hydrocarbon and name it according to the number of carbon atoms it contains, adding the suffix. The longest continuous carbon chain here is this. This is the longest continuous carbon chain. So how many carbon atoms we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know the number of carbon atoms to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be what? Carbon 5. Then after which, the next step is to check the bond that is attaching to the carbon atom. Is there any double bond in between the carbon atom or a single bond in between the carbon atom? If there is what? A double bond between the carbon atom, automatically that compound belongs to alkene family. But if there is what? A single bond attaching between the carbon atom, that compound belongs to alkane family. But if the compound have triple bond in between the carbon atom, that compound belongs to alkyne family. Have you select the longest continuous carbon chain to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be what? Carbon 5 in alkane family. Carbon 5 in alkane family is called pentane. That's the rules and regulation. Rules number 2 state that number the carbon atom in the root hydrocarbon from the end which gives the lowest number of the substituent. You number it from the end which gives the lowest number of the substituent. When you have something like this, you say you have to number from the end. But in this context, we are not to number from the end because this compound, there are some radical elements that is contained. You have to start a number now from the radical element that is closer to the carbon atom. You have to start a number from what? From the radical element that is closer to the first carbon atom or that is closer to the last carbon atom. When you check the radical element now, we find that at carbon 2, there is what? A chlorine atom. That's to say, you have to start a number from your left hand side because that is the only carbon atom in which the chlorine is closer to. Had it been, there's no any radical element or radical element in the carbon atom, you start your numbering from your what? From the end. You start your numbering from the end. But since there is radical element, you start your numbering from the carbon atom in which the radical element is closer to. We have something like this. This one which is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reason be that the radical element is closer to what? To the carbon atom in your left hand side. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At carbon 2, we have a chloro compound, which is chlorine. At carbon 3, we also have what? A chloro compound, which is what? Chlorine. In your mathematics, 1 is mono, 2 is di. Under this structure, we have what? 2 chlorine atoms at carbon 2 and 3. You have to start a numbering with the what? Chlorine atom. At carbon 2, there's what? A chlorine atom. That's why you have what? 2. Because it is the carbon 2 that is carrying the chlorine atom. At carbon 3, we also have what? A chlorine atom. Which is what? 3. You are telling us that carbon 2 and carbon 3, they are the one that is what? Carrying the chlorine atom. Then after you know the carbon atom that is carrying the radical element, you now start your naming. 1 is mono, 2 is di, which is what? We have 2 chlorine atoms, which is 1, 2. Di, chloro. Because the radical element there is chlorine. Chloro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carbon 5 in alkane family is what? Pentane, chloro. We have 2, 3 dichloropentane. For number 2, you apply the same rules. You select the longest continuum carbon chain and name the carbon chain as your root hydrocarbon. Then at number 2 structure, you find out that at carbon 3, there's what? A methyl group. You can start the number now from from either left hand side or right hand side. Because when you start your number from your left hand side, you end at what? Carbon 3. When you start from your right hand side, you end at what? Carbon 3. You ever name the what? Carbon atom, the longest continuous carbon chain as a root hydrocarbon. How many we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At carbon 3, we have what? A methyl group. Also carbon 3, we have what's called a methyl group. You say 3, which is this carbon, a carbon 3 that's having this methyl group. 3, 3, we have 3, 3, because at carbon 3, methyl group is upward, while another methyl group is what? Downward. 3, 3, 3, 3. Then in your mathematics, 2 is what? Dimethyl. 3, 3, dimethyl. Dimethyl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You name what? The parent hydrocarbon, the longest continuous chain, which is what? Pentane. Dimethyl pentane. Number 3, we have 3 different radicals here. We have the bromine, we have the chlorine, then we have a methyl group. We have an organic compound and inorganic compound in one single structure. Or we have organic compound and inorganic compound in one single parent hydrocarbon. Name the inorganic compound before the organic compound according to the rules. Then you have to start numbering that at which the radical element is closer to. Because when you change the structure very well, the first thing you have to number or name the what? Parent hydrocarbon, to know the total number of what? Parent hydrocarbon. So number of parent hydrocarbon, you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is what? Hexane. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is what? Hexane. You now start your numbering from this place. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because it is the right hand carbon atom that those radicals are closer to. In your what? Alphabet, B come before what? B come before what? C. You have to start the numbering from what? From B, which is what? Bromo. We have a carbon 3, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 bromo, comma. At carbon 2, we have what? A chlorine atom. We have 2, which is the carbon 2 that carry the upper chlorine atom, and the carbon 2 that carry the downward chlorine atom. 2, 2, dichloro, 2, dichloro. 4 at carbon 4 have what? Methyl, 4 methyl, 2, dichloro, 2, dichloro, 4 methyl, hexane, because it belongs to alkane family. Because it belongs to alkane family. Example here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our parent hydrocarbon, our parent root hydrocarbon there is 5. Our 5 is what? Pentane, because this compound belongs to alkane family. Here you have what's called a radical element plus 2, a radical element plus 2 organic compound. You have to start the number from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 2 iodo, 2 iodo. E come before what? M. 2 iodo, comma, 3 diethyl, because we have E alphabet. E come before what? M. That's why we name ethyl before what? Methyl. 2 iodo, 3 diethyl, 4 methyl pentane. 4 methyl pentane. These are the name of the structure given to you on the board. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Thank you.